So I see a therapist, I go every other week now. The guy's name is Sam. He's great. And sometimes when I'm in therapy, I kind of like step outside the situation and I kind of see myself in therapy and I look at like issues in my life or whatever. And I know that sometimes, like, do you remember when I was like, I was watching that show, Kyle, you and I were watching that show, Damages?
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be a lawyer.
Yes.
And then I got really involved with Chris Angel's magic, and I wanted to be a magician. I got into magic. So I started watching that show that's on the Netflix, the golf thing.
Full Swing.
And I was watching going, I could totally be a golfer. and I remember a couple weeks ago, I was going to be a tennis player. I was like, but listen to this. You know how Netflix drops these random movies sometimes and they're like new and they're like shoved in your face, but you look at it, it came out in 2016.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a movie that came out and I wanted to see it when it came out, but I was kind of like, doesn't look like that type of movie where I'm going to go to the theater. But now it's on Netflix and it's called The Founder. And it's about Ray Kroc, the guy that started McDonald's. Do you know it?
Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking about, Grant?
Yeah, dude, I watch that movie like maybe twice a year. It's so good.
It's so good.
So good.
So I had this friend of mine named Paul, and he owns like 25 McDonald's. And I was like, dude, I just watched The Founder. It's about Ray Kroc, the guy that pretty much launched McDonald's. And I'm like, I just watched The Founder. I want to get a McDonald's. I said,
that is such a John J. Van Hess sentence.
But it's a good dream to have.
Well,
owning a McDonald's.
I want a McDonald's. And he's like, okay, first of all, he says to me, it's called owner-operator. He goes, and you don't want to operate. I go, true. I would just like to be an owner of McDonald's. How does that work? And he's like, well, it takes this. You got to go to like Hamburger University. You got to go study. But that wasn't in the movie. But if you guys get a chance to watch the movie, it is fascinating.
Oh, it's not a documentary. It's a
movie. Michael Keaton, Batman, is Ray Kroc.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really good movie. He starts out as this traveling salesman selling milkshake machines. And he hears about this little fast food joint called McDonald's in San Bernardino, and it's these two brothers, and they've got a line around the block, and they started the fast food business. Before you'd go to a place, it would take 30 minutes to get a hamburger. These guys did it in 30 seconds, and they called it speedy food. How stupid.
Speedy food.
How do you not come up with, why would
fast
you
food? I mean, there's alliteration there.
I know. We started the speedy food delivery. And then he takes the McDonald's concept, he meets with them, and he's like, let me take this and franchise it and take it around. They're like, okay. And then it's this controversy and stuff, and he turns it into, this is in like 1955, and by 1970, he's a billionaire. You know what I mean? I know, it's unbelievable. Anyway.
Well, I mean, that's like the first really chain restaurant you'd ever heard of, right? Is McDonald's. So they were the ones.
I think it's the first one. But anyway, this golfing thing.
Yeah.
What's up with that, man?
Yeah, I know. I've been watching. I'm not interested in golf at all, ever. And I'm into the show. Maybe it's because to me it's like if you combine Bling Dynasty, I don't know anything about that world either, but it's fascinating. So watching A Secret World and getting like the insight has been pretty cool. It's a good show. It's a good show.
Well, if you like, there was a show that came out a couple weeks ago. I told you guys about, very similar, almost identical to this, but it was tennis. So it's the same thing. Like, I'm not into tennis, but the same type of documentary. They follow different people. And I only watched a couple of those episodes. And I've only watched the Brooks Koepka one.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't they paint him as such a...
Yeah. Did you see him with the dog, what he did to the dog?
No.
If you guys pay attention to remember that scene where his fiance comes out of the shower and they're in his bathroom and he's got his black lab and he pushes the dog away. I had to watch it 3 or 4 times. It's like, what the hell is this guy's deal?
No, I've never really been a fan of that guy. So, like, my husband's, like, super into golf. So when this Netflix docuseries dropped, I was like, okay, I definitely need to watch this. And it's actually the first Netflix show Scott and I have ever watched together.
Oh, wow.
And, like, he's sort of, like, in a little bit of the know of the golf world because of Scott. And I'm like, I've never really liked that Brooks guy. Like, he's just giving me a ew vibe, the way he, like, sort of treated his girlfriend at the time, now his wife, like, on the course. He would kind of, like, push her away if he wasn't having a good day. And it's just like, he never seemed like, and the documentary solidified that.
Yeah, he seems like he doesn't have a lot of good days.
He did that with the dog.
Yeah.
He pushed the dog away, but I get it too. I've done it with my dogs. You push them away, but to see it on film was so rude. Because then you see him almost go to hug the dog afterwards or pet the dog, but they cut. So it's like if I was him, I would be like, hey man, fix that scene. You know what I mean? Because everyone has a day where they're pushing their
Yeah.
dog away. All my freaking dogs are on my ass all the time. I'm pushing them away. But, and then there's another scene where he's sitting there and the dog's like trying to eat and he won't let the dog eat. It's like, come on, dude. But then at the very end, the last thing he says of that episode makes me really not like him. When they're talking about who won the Masters, he's like, who won the Masters? I don't know.
He's like,
I don't know who won. Oh, Scotty won, I think, right? Or whatever that guy's.
Yeah.
Right? But that shows you, too. There's two perspectives. This guy is in his head. He's as an athlete, you watch this guy's in his head, and he knows something's wrong. And he messes up all the time. And then there's this other guy. Do you see the other guy, Scotty Schlesinger or whatever?
Scheffler.
Yeah, that dude. they cut to him on the golf course, and he's talking about what's he talking about?
His wife, like eating popcorn in bed and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about on the course, and he wins. He wins $5 million. That's the thing. When I was watching how much money they win, like they 18 holes, they win $2 million. So I'm like, I'm going to go be a golfer. How hard is that?
I mean, you just need a couple of really good days, and then you got to win the quad, right?
I think nobody calls it that. I think when you really boil it down, all of these episodes really highlight how golf really is like a mental game. You can have the skill, but if you're not in the right mindset or you're off just a little and you don't have the confidence, it's like you're out. And then there's 200 bajillion people in line waiting behind you that are on their game that day. It always like Tiger Woods was like this phenomenon. Like he won all the time and he stayed at the top all the time. And like, there really isn't anybody like that in golf ever again since then. And they keep comparing like Rory McIlroy to that. And like, maybe Jordan Spieth for a little bit, but it's like nobody's done that, which is pretty cool. It's like, makes you realize how good Tiger was and how the respect that he has. But the documentary is really talking about like the controversy between the PGA Tour and the Live Tour and how some guys left the PGA Tour to join this new tour that had all this controversy around it. But like, they were all like kind of just, taking advantage of the money.
I had problems with the Brooks Koepka episode because it's episode 2 because Tiger Woods, they show him the shirt he has bothers me. The shirt looks like it's bothering his neck.
Yeah,
he's got like a half mock turtleneck. Yeah. I'm like, man. But by the way, Tiger Woods, did you see this? They had him mic'd up for this tournament the other day, and so they're talking, and they go to a live shot of him, and then he like hocked a loogie.
Ew.
Did you see that?
No.
Okay,
I saw the other stuff that he was in the headlines for.
What?
The tampon.
And the joke.
Guy jokes.
Yeah, it looked like he was crying.
Here he is. Like they got a tight shot of him live. They go to him. They just got done talking. And right when they paused, you hear him, Tiger Woods, literally hock a loogie on TV.
It's Riviera. It's Tiger. It's the Palisades. And we are underway.
I feel so bad for them because like when if you're mic'd up 24/7, I guarantee you they're gonna find something gross or weird on everyone.
Yeah,
There's no way. Like a toque came out or something. Oh, guess what? Tiger Woods just like everyone else.
It's like if you're the camera guy, you do not expect him to hock a loogie right there.
No.
The director's zoom in on Tiger, zoom in on Tiger, zoom in on Tiger. All right, we're going to go commercial in 5, in 4, zoom in on Tiger. 3. Oh my God, fail. Go to commercial.